I started skydiving 4 days after my 16th birthday. I was intrigued with the whole idea. Ever since I was just a little boy, I was jumping out of windows. I would learn how to do, PLFs, rolls. You'd be able to jump out of a window and roll. I could jump off roofs. I did all kinds of stuff. I just loved jumping, the idea of being in the air. And I thought you had to be in the military to jump. And so about when I was 15 and a half or so, I found out that you could jump as a civilian, which just completely blew my mind. Hi, I'm Nick Guida, the founder and CEO of Tamarack Aerospace Group. Thanks for joining me today with Flying with the Founder. So I talked my mom into driving me to a drop zone in Maryland, and I took an observer ride where you put a parachute on and then you go into the plane and you watch other people jump out. And that whole concept just solidified the fact that I'm going to do this. So as soon as I could, you had to be 16 with a parental consent, I jumped 4 days after my birthday. Then I started jumping a lot. The first jump was just so cool. It's kind of like your first solo. Do you guys all remember your first solo or your first lesson? It's just so, everything's surreal. There's so much information coming in at you, and you've trained and you're going to go finally do it. And you train so well that it's like a robot, like put your feet out, climb out on the strut, so these commands got embroiled in you and you're kind of nervous and scared. The whole concept, you're hanging on the strut. And I remember looking in at the airplane and the jump master when I'm hanging onto the strut 3,000 feet up. The whole thing was just amazing, and I love that. You hear so many people say they're scared and they'd never do it, all those type of things, and facing your fears like the number one thing. So you hear a lot of people will say they're afraid, they can't even imagine it, these people are crazy, all this type of stuff, but people do it all the time and have a great time. So understanding that there must be something fun about it, and if they're safe and they can do it, then I can do it too. I did a balloon jump recently and I hadn't ever done a balloon jump. And so you're climbing out, there's no handles or railings or stuff, you're just kind of climbing and you're nervous because you're gonna jump and you feel uncertain of your footing. And it's the silliest thing because we're about to jump. We're not afraid of jumping, we love jumping, but you still have this internal fear that takes over. Your brain's sending these signals and you succumb to that at some extent. Skydiving is an example of this fear, getting over your fear. How many people do you know that were afraid and after the first jump, they just got addicted to it and just kept jumping? I know a lot of people like that, but they were willing to didn't even know they liked it. And then once they did it on a dare or whatever, they embraced it and really ran with it. And it's that internal fear, like what other things in your life are you holding back because of your perceptions and what your narrative that you have in your head about what it's going to be like, or how many things could go wrong instead of how many things could go right? What are you going to do with your one wild and precious life? That's just one of my favorite quotes that I've heard, and I've been trying to live that way my whole life. Like, this is it right here. Make it amazing. Make it amazing, and whatever that means to you. It doesn't mean my amazing is different than your amazing, but part of being an amazing life is just pushing yourself in a safe way. And I'm not saying go fly without learning how to fly, but the slow progression and watching yourself grow and embrace these new concepts and ideas and really enjoying it. That's what it's all about for me. That's what has driven me all these years. And this second right now, this is all we have. That's a little bit frou-frou stuff, but